That's what be messing me up now when I look back at it, and I be seeing some of my partners that's passed away. Like, man, some of my partners really got killed at 17 and 18, and when you look at it, like, we really was way advanced. Like, what we was doing trigger play at 15 and 16 and shit, you feel me? Yeah, like, man, that was crazy. That's crazy to me now that I look at it and I was like, man, I was really in high school, really, doing gun shit. Magnolia Levee, you heard me? Scott, you know what it's hitting for. Anything else would be uncivilized, you heard me? You now tuned in.
When you're up and when you're down, ain't no one around. When I ask again for help, I ain't hear sound.
What's up with Turk, man?
Oh, fuck, Turk gonna be Turk, you feel me? It's his time right now, you feel me? I respect it, you feel me?
Him and Jeezy linked up.
Yeah, him and Jeezy linked up. And plus, he on tour and he doing his thing, you feel me? I just saw him cop the new chain and everything, so his jewelry game getting together. It's only a matter of time before he hop out, you feel me? It looked good on him, you heard me? He deserved it.
So Hot Boys on tour now?
Yeah, Hot Boys on tour. And they have what is called Louisiana Fest, Future and the Hot Boys, and then they got the Cash Money Millionaires reunion tour.
That they touring? They touring all that shit right now?
Yeah, they doing two different lanes. Like, it'll be Louisiana Fest, and that's included with Wayne and the Cash Money Millionaire reunion. That's when Wayne not involved.
Well, let me ask you this shit. Was Birdman sleep on stage?
No, a lot of people might have said he dozed off. That's what I saw, a lot of people. But if you went backstage or you look at some of the footage of them being backstage, they would take the playlist to the bottom speaker on the floor. So, but I could believe that he might have dozed off too, though. You feel me? Because sometimes, that he smoking that good weed. You feel me?
The word was, he took the blunt from Wayne, hit the blunt.
Yeah.
And that shit was strong. Even Wayne was laughing like BG was tapping, and it looked like he trying to wake him up.
Yeah.
And it's possible he could have read something on the floor, but boy, he was out.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, he was out. And they recovered it like that, you feel me? But shout out to Bird, you heard me? You know what it's in for. What up, Five?
Yes, indeed. Boy, that shit too strong, man. Leave that shit alone. Leave that for the young.
I'm going to have to call him and ask him what that was he was smoking, you heard me? Make sure I never get hold of that shit.
Yeah, catch the op, slip and spin on them like a propeller. Do your homework, be just a bit like a gorilla.
BG, what do you think about his success from the time he come home to now? You think he's like on point?
For his situation, I feel like he on point anyway, because he not dipping back into his same behavior of getting loaded or drinking or shit like that. So I would consider that on point. But you gotta think he did 14 years. Like, you don't have no way of catching back up or just hopping back out here and that's just like starting a new job again, you feel me? You gotta start from scratch. Give him a little while to try to bounce back, you feel me? But I think he came out on a good run. I liked it on Gold Grill, that single. I liked the single with Finesse 2 times. And I think right now he don't have no crew, so he got kind of a lot of weight on him right now just to hold everything down. He got his son, he got T.Y. in jail, he got his other son with him, and it could be a little bit pressure too, trying to, fill your shoes for everybody else to, get on board. You feel me? He just want to catch up on a lot of things. You feel me? And that pressure itself is a lot of pressure to come home to and been gone for 14 years and just to slide right in and have everybody, on your back. You feel me?
Magnolia Levee. You remember Levee being around?
Yeah, Magnolia Levee being my motherfucking young man. Levee been my Magnolia Levee was that coming up, you heard me? He always was the type of that was about his business. I can say that about nephew. He don't have no flaws. You don't hear no shit about no and done nothing, none of that shit. And he used to be amongst all the monsters.
But I interviewed Booby Black, bro, and Booby spoke highly about you because I said, what about a little Levee from here? He was like, oh man, I always been on the shit, man.
Man, I've been outside, like, you feel me? Like some stuff that you deal with as a kid, going at that time you would be like, man, this is some rough shit, you heard me? But that was really some knowledge that you needed to go forward in life and be able to survive.
That story you told about the dude that went in your sandwich bag, he said to him, come here, he said he made a sandwich. He said, your mama said, who the fuck made a sandwich?
Bro, when I tell you we grew up with so many bullies, bro, Bollock, Gaylord, Nussy, it's just Tookie, motherfucking Tippy, you feel me? Like, man, we had a lot of people that you had to navigate through the project. We had people like Wallace, bro, man, just terrorizing the neighborhood. And you just navigated through that because it was so normal to you, like, man, there he go again. Yeah. Like, man, go ahead, go inside. What do you want? You feel me?
That's every day for you, huh?
Yeah, like you be hustling and it be like, I can't jack him because he's like my nephew, and he be like, all right, I ain't gonna jack you. But everybody that come cop from you, I'm jacking them. Like, man, what are you doing? You making me hot. I can't get off my stuff. Because everybody who buy from me, like, as soon as they walk off, they're like, man, old boy just jacked me. That's basically like how Sinwar Fat was, you feel me? Like, when this man got back there, this man was on a rampage because it was like people from his neighborhood from out the St. Thomas had owed him money in the St. Thomas. Now they come and score in the Magnolia. And it's just a shock when they see him in the Magnolia serving. Like, oh, man. Fat'll be like, man, where the fuck my money at? You feel me? And just, teeing off on everybody coming through there scoring or whatever, you feel me? Like, me being in high school, I done beef with people from different walls in high school. Now when we see each other, we can't do nothing but laugh and dap it up and think about, like, man, we was tripping. Like, we really was tripping over something that we don't even own.
Bro, do you keep up or speak to Stupid lately?
No, I haven't spoke to Stupid in a minute.
What do you think with the time that he's been gone, his mindset will be when he come home? You think he'll be on some mature?
I think he would. Think he willing
to let shit go as far as old man?
If I was in his situation, I wouldn't put myself in that type of environment, knowing like, shit's just different from pre-Katrina. Like, you could move into a house in the East and be living next door to somebody who you had 20 years of beef with now. Because that's the way how after Katrina, everybody just moved everywhere. It ain't no longer like, oh, this his section, this that section. It's just everybody scattered. That's what be messing me up now when I look back at shit and I be seeing some of my partners that's passed away. Like, man, some of my partners really got killed at 17 and 18, and when you look at it, like, we really was way advanced. Like, what we was doing trigger play at 15 and 16 and shit, you feel me?
It was the norm, bro.
Yeah, like man, that was crazy. That's crazy to me now that I look at it and I was like, man, I was really in high school, really, doing gun shit. Like, somebody we know had a gun or owned some gun shit, you feel me? Like, man, we still was in high school when my friend from out of the 17 got killed, Termite. I probably could say I have more friends that's dead than us alive. Like, man, I really lost some partners throughout this shit.
More than 10?
Oh, way more than 10. I can name you 10, like Tuna, Philip and Clara, Kim, JJ, Magic, Termite, my other partner. Man, I can name you 10 easily. You feel me? Derek. And that's just on the other end, Nail. And that's even with Soldier Slim, just our crew right there, you feel me? I'm like, me and Laurel and Chaotic, and unfortunately with the Lil Real One situation, that he's incarcerated, you feel me? And that's why, I be smiling and trying to stay my best and out the way, you feel me? Like, don't know how hard it is to survive, like, in that type of situations, or make the right decision in that moment that could carry a life farther than what it is, you feel me? Nobody wake up thinking like, oh, this is my last day or some shit like that, you feel me?
Say, Lee, and at that time, right, heroin was popular. And then, and I don't want to get deep into it, that you had your Turk BGs, but not just them, but you had a bunch of other partners, Melfa, I knew. That was young as fuck on that shit. Yeah. Was it ever a chance that, or a point where you almost could have fucked with it, dog?
I think I was already trained, like, not to fuck with it, because the people that I looked up to they was hustlers and wasn't into using, you feel me? Because at some point, I think Slim kind of made people want to get loaded too, you feel me? Because Slim is really made the song Powder Bag to where, you know, he started, you know, rapping and talking about dope and all of that. And, you know, some people wanted to get loaded to sound like Slim. You know, mostly the killers that we knew coming up, they was like, heroin gave you a false courage to kill, right? So why wouldn't you, if a felt you got loaded, they think like, oh, he untrustable, he a killer. And that's what heroin gave off to you, because most people that we know coming up in our age bracket, if they was on heroin, they would take a hit. Or go kill somebody and don't have to worry about not sleeping and shit like that. Crack cocaine was popping at one time that's the 95 Air Max era. I would put 95 Air Max with crack. But when heroin hit, it was luxury cars, bikes, motorcycles, and what I could say like Coogee and Iceberg. Like when heroin hit, for me, that's what I saw. I saw niggas stop wearing regular Nike shit to niggas start wearing. That's when I first found out about luxury shit like Iceberg and Coogee and Louis Vuitton and shit like that. Like niggas wasn't buying that with no crack. Niggas was buying 95 Air Max and the, you know, sweatsuits and shit like that. But when heroin hit, I'm telling you, my partner Kenny Slim, like I'm talking about in 1 week's time, he went from not having a car to having a motorbike. And that's what made me want to, you know, sell heroin. I was like, what did you do that fast? Like we were just talking about getting Jabot jean outfits. But all of a sudden he talking about, look, I'm about to get this bike, then I'm gonna get this here Cutlass. I'm like, hold up, we ain't selling the same shit, right? Right. But then then one of his family members had got caught with a bundle of heroin. And they was like, man, it don't look good for him getting bonded out. And when I found out how much time heroin would get you back then, that same day, immediately, I was like, it was a free fall, one-time sale. Like, here, man, look, you want this $20 bag, pay me back later. Yeah, like niggas was getting 10 years and everything. When heroin first hit, you was getting 10 years off a bag and shit. They talking about 20 years off a bag. I was like, fuck. Getting them numbers. Yeah, I was like, fuck the motorbike and everything. Now I'm like, shit, I'm about to get this shit out. This shit free today. I'm going back to slinging powder because that's the only reason I was into. Fuck the motorbike. Huh? Yeah, I was the only reason I was willing to convert over to her. Because I had this older lady in my neighborhood that was basically using me, like two older women that was using me. Like, my mom and them didn't know that I was hustling, you feel me? So when I had crack, she'd be like, oh, give me a dime. Like, I'll give her a dime 8 o'clock in the morning for free, just so she don't tell my mom or my Uncle Zoe or my Uncle Waylon or Eddie. But then she'll come back again, like, after 8 o'clock, come back again, like 11:30 and be like, give me one more. I'm going to tell them. I'm like, hold up, you smoking more than I'm making. Fuck all this, you feel me? So when I found out once heroin hit and I tried the heroin and then I went back, I was like, fuck this, I can't fuck with the heroin shit because this is shit. Like, man, this ain't no regular hustling. Like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm talking about outside lined up. Like, man, where he at with that? But then when I found out how much time you getting for heroin, I was like, shit, I can't go back to crack because they killing me. Because Miss Joni and Miss Shirley and them was like, pop it off. I'm telling your mama or your uncle and them. So I was like, fuck it, I got something for y'all. I don't have no crack, I got powder. So that's when I found out people speedball. They would get heroin and they would get powder. So heroin is like a downer, but they would get powder to keep them up and keep them moving around. So they call that speedballing. So that's when I found my lane with powder, because I was like, if somebody coming, most of the time people who doing heroin, they want an upper too. So I'll stand by somebody who's selling heroin and just, catch that little light wave.